Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. In this video, the basic concepts which are used in Income Tax Act, I'm going to explain. In the last video, I have explained you the canons of taxation and few basic concepts like what is previous year, what is assessment year, who is an assessee, and previous deemed income. What is deemed income? These are the concepts already I have explained in the last video. Remember, in examination, you will not be asked only problems. Theory is also equally important. So don't underestimate theory, because in every examination they will ask like what do you mean by income? What do you mean by permanent account number? What is gross total income? Who is an assessee? These type of questions will be asked. So if you watch the video, you will get the confidence and excellently you can write in examination. So if you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you go to the playlist of my channel. Select the subject income tax for the assessment year 2025-26. Watch the starting 2-3 videos already I have uploaded. Then you can continue. After doing some 2-3 videos, then we'll start the problems. So before explaining the other basic concepts, take the screenshot of the points, then I'll explain. Now, the next basic concept is income. In examination, they have asked previously, what do you mean by income? Section 2, subsection 24 deals with the term income. So it says, as the income of a person is liable to tax, it is necessary to know the meaning of the term income, because the subject is income tax. So it's a tax on income. So the meaning of the income should be clear. Everybody must know what do you mean by income. Then only they can be able to calculate the tax. But unfortunately, under the Act, nowhere the term income is defined. But what receipts will be treated as income is mentioned. So the importance of income is very much, but Income Tax Act has not specifically given the definite term, the income. But it has given the examples where the receipts will be treated as income. Which receipt will be treated as income? Some examples are given. So here section 2 subsection 24 defines income includes the following. The definition is inclusive definition. That means the section says income includes the following. That means apart from this, any other item may also come under the term income. So what are the examples of incomes? Profits and gains. When a business is run, the profits and gains of the business is an income. Similarly, dividend receipt is an income. Voluntary contribution received by charitable or religious trusts. Then the value of any perquisite or profit in lieu of salary received by the employee from the employer. Then any capital gain. Then any winning from lottery, crossword puzzles, games, horse races or any other race or gambling. All these are incomes. Then gift received in cash from any person in excess of 50,000. So if any gift is received in cash in excess of 50,000, that is also an income. Then forfeited advance amount in capital asset in sale transaction. In a sale transaction, if advance money is received and forfeited, that is also an income. On studying the above definitions, we find the concept of income is not clearly defined. It has given only the following are the incomes, but specifically what is income? Nowhere it is defined. Then how we can be able to know the meaning of the term income? We have to go to the judgments. We have to go to the judgments of the Supreme Court and High Court. In different cases, how they have defined, how the courts have given the meaning to the term income. So these are the guidelines. The verdicts given by courts can be taken as the guidelines for defining income. So the judgments given by High Court and Supreme Court from time to time in different cases will give us guidelines to formulate certain characteristics of income. So these guidelines we will see. First one, income may be received in cash or kind. It is not necessary that income should always be received in cash. Sometimes incomes received in kind is also taxable. Income Tax Act has given the provision how to convert that kind into cash. For example, an employee got a motor car from the employer for personal use. So directly in cash he is not getting the benefit. But the benefit is in the form of motor car. He is using the motor car freely for his personal purpose. The motor car belongs to the company, to the business. So this is also benefit in kind. So how to calculate? Income Tax Act has given the provision regarding how to calculate the income which is given in kind. So Income Tax Act says whether the income is in cash or kind, both are incomes, both are taxable. Secondly, sources of income must be definite. Income Tax Act has defined that all the sources are five: income from salary, income from house property, profits and gains of business or profession, capital gain, and income from other sources. So every income must be from a definite source. Income arises either on receipt basis or accrual basis. It is not necessary that income should always be received in cash. That means some incomes will be treated on accrual basis also. For example, a person has deposited cash in a bank in fixed deposit. So on fixed deposit, every year interest is accumulating, but the person is not getting the interest. The interest he will receive on maturity of FD. But till that time, every year interest accrued is taxable. Then if the income is in dispute, the person who is the recipient is assessed to tax. If any income, there is a dispute. For example, a property is there. Suppose two brothers are fighting for the property. The Income Tax Act will say whoever is getting the benefit from the property, that person first of all has to pay the tax. Later on, the dispute will be settled in a court of law. But time being, whoever is receiving the income, he has to pay the tax. Next one, the Income Tax Act does not make any distinction between legal income and illegal income. If a person is having illegal income, the separate act is there to take action against that person because he is doing a crime, illegal activity. But Income Tax Act says whether your income is legal income or illegal income, you have to pay the tax. That means even if a person is doing illegal activity, any income generated, it is put to tax. Income Tax Act is not bothered about legal or illegal income. Separate laws are there where the person will be prosecuted for doing illegal activity. Now, the income may be temporary or permanent. It is not necessary that the income should be continuously the person should receive or permanently it should receive. Even if temporary income is there, that is also taxable. Next one is income to be derived from outside, and that is one cannot earn income by himself. Example, when pocket money is given by the father to the son, it is not the income of the son because it is not generated from outside. The income which is received by the son is generated within the house. So if that is the case, it is not taxable. It is not an income in the hands of the son because it is not generated from outside. Next one is personal gifts are not incomes. Example, birthday gift or wedding day gift. These are personal gifts, not incomes. Next is income must be real and not imaginary. Imaginary income means just a book income. That means when goods are transferred from head office to branch, some profit will be charged. That means this profit is imaginary profit. So that should not be considered. Then awards received by professional sportsmen is income. But awards received by non-professional sportsmen will be treated as gift and hence not taxed. So when gifts are received, when prizes are received, we have to see whether he is a professional sportsman or non-professional. If non-professional, not an income, it's just a gift. But if professional sportsmen receive the prize, it is taxable. So these are the points to be kept in mind while deciding a receipt is income or not. That's all. So these are the points you have to remember if a question is asked in examination regarding what do you mean by income. So whatever I have explained, those points you write in examination, you will get the marks. Next concept is gross total income. Simply it is called GTI. Very often in examination they have asked, what do you mean by gross total income? So gross total income is the aggregate of income computed under different heads of income. Totally 5 heads of income are there. Income from salary, income from house property, profits and gains of business and profession, capital gain and other sources. So we have to compute the income under each head. For an SSC, we have to compute income from salary, compute income from house property. After calculating incomes under 5 heads, we have to add up all. So the aggregate of all the 5 heads of income is called gross total income. Then total income. From gross total income, some deductions are there from 80C to 80U. So if you deduct all the deduction which an SSC may get, it is not compulsory that every person will get the deduction. Only under certain cases, certain conditions are there. If the conditions are satisfied, then only deductions will be allowed from 80C to 80U. So gross total income minus all deductions from 80C to 80U is equal to total income. Next is taxable income. From the total income, deduct the basic exemption limit. So every year basic exemption limit will be fixed by the Income Tax Act. So that basic exemption limit will be deducted. The remaining income is called taxable income. Next concept is return of income. Return of income means submitting all the income expenses, details of information to the income tax department. For example, I am the SSC. I have to give to the department all the information about my income, about my expenses, about my savings. All the information should be submitted to the income tax department in a form. That form is called return of income. So every SSC has to submit the return of income, giving the details of his income. Next comes permanent account number. It is called PAN. So PAN is the number which is allotted by the tax assessing officer to the SSC for easy identification. Because there are many people having the same name, so it will be difficult for the income tax department to identify the person. So instead of recognizing by name, income tax department will recognize by a number. Because number cannot be same. Different unique number will be given for every SSC. So the number, a unique number which is allotted by the income tax department to the SSC for easy identification. That is called permanent account number, PAN. So in case of need, this number is useful to trace out the previous returns submitted by the SSC. Many a times scrutiny will be done. Some investigation will be done. So if we have permanent account number, easily we can trace out the previous return for scrutiny purpose. Next is when income exceeds the exempted limit, then he has to apply to the concerned ITO, income tax officer, for allotment of the number. If a person exceeds the basic exemption limit, then the person has to apply to the income tax officer to allot him the permanent account number. Next, last concept I am going to explain is average rate of income tax. Actually, income tax has to be paid in advance. So how much in advance we have to pay? We have to calculate the average income tax rate of the previous year. The previous year, how to calculate average rate of tax? Last year, how much was the total tax on his total income? Suppose a person's total income last year was 10 lakh. Total income. On that total income, the tax was out of 10 lakh rupees income, 3 lakh rupees was the tax. The SSC has paid 3 lakh rupees tax on a total income of 10 lakh. So we calculate average rate 3 lakh divided by 10 lakh into 100, 30%. The average rate of tax is 30%. Now current year he has to pay the advance tax at the rate of 30% of his income. So for this purpose only average rate of tax is calculated. The formula for average rate of tax is total tax divided by total income into 100. So I have explained you the basic concepts which are used in Income Tax Act, like who is an assessee, what do you mean by previous year, what do you mean by assessment year, then who is a person, and what is deemed income. And here I have explained you about the meaning of the term income, gross total income, taxable income, permanent account number, filing the return, submitting the return, and lastly average rate of tax. So if you watch 2-3 times this theory video, definitely you will write the examination with full confidence, right? So if you are satisfied with my lecture, give a like to the video, share my channel among your friends, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and give the comments from which country you are watching the video and how do you rate this channel. So apart from this income tax, a number of subjects videos already I have uploaded. So frequently do visit my the playlist of my channel. Apart from that, shorts and video shorts also I have made and uploaded on my channel. So these shorts are also very important because specifically in 1 minute I have explained important concept. So always watch not only the long videos but also the short videos to gain more knowledge on your subjects. So inshallah we'll continue the next topic in the next video.